show you've been waiting for. The place to get your news. With guests from veteran non-profits and veteran businesses. And now for your host, Derek, Will, Damien. This is Veteran Logic.
Hey there, guys. Welcome back to Veteran Logic. I said it right this time, didn't I? That's freaking outstanding, man.
Yeah, and then you screwed it all up by telling us that you said it right this time.
Right? And they never knew because we always...
Sound kind of like a little back padding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as you guys can see, we're down one member right now because, a friend of his was coming into town, so Damien had to...
Watch his...
He had to take care of himself before.
Yeah, clean his rear and
do all that stuff.
Douche and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. So, but anyway, guys, welcome back. Like I said just a second ago. And guys, what'd y'all do this weekend?
I didn't do anything.
I worked. That's sad.
You worked?
Went to band practice. That was about it.
Anything exciting?
I didn't do either one of those.
No.
Hey, I did go to Hertz Donuts.
Did you?
Yeah.
So you were right by my house and you didn't say hello, huh?
He was
Way to
afraid
go.
he'd have to share his
Well, no,
Hertz
I saw
donut.
you at the vape shop when I went by there.
I know, I'm just giving shit.
well, see, now the wife said, you know what? Well, she goes, Monday is when we have to go on our diet. And I'm like, well, you do know it's Saturday. So why don't we just go out with a big bang before we get started?
It's always the best way to do it, right?
Yeah, so
Bulk.
I got a half dozen.
Are you going to be able to eat and hide it like you hide the smoking?
Yeah. He's going to be here eating donuts.
No, I'll be vaping. But anyway, so I guess tonight what we're going to try to go over with, Dave has brought in, we've talked about this a couple of episodes, and Dave was talking about the homeless veterans and that are out here in Oklahoma. So this can be an Oklahoma stats, right?
Oklahoma City stats.
Oklahoma City stats. Okay, so this is just for Oklahoma City?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, so, Oklahoma City and surrounding suburbs.
Suburbs.
Things like that. Right?
Okay, so what have you got here? And this was actually presented by who? Who helped you out on this?
Donnie Lewis.
Donnie Lewis.
Who is in charge of the SSDF program, which I will explain more in detail in just a moment. Just want to give a few stats. Every year, the homeless veterans in Oklahoma rises about 35. In 2015, the veterans, it went down 32.
Okay.
But then again, in 2016, it went right back up 37. So the only year that it went down, it rose right back up to what the other totals were before that.
Gotcha.
It rises about 20% a year. And of that 20%, 47% are between 42 and 64, which means that Vietnam up to about 1985. So some of the older vets, a lot of the older vets are homeless.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Of those, there are 286 that are chronic homeless vets, which are vets that live out in the open with no cover when they sleep, and it's also vets that have been homeless for a year or have been homeless 3 times in the last 4 years. Of those 113 veterans, 7% are women.
Or women, 7%.
Or women, right?
And so now these are actually women.
And this is just people up to 1985?
No, that age group that I mentioned was 1985.
Right.
This the last survey was 2016.
Okay, so this is all veterans of
These
this.
are all veterans. Right.
Gotcha.
But 200. Let me look at that again.
Yeah, you were saying something about, what was it, a 7% on the...
Well, 7% of the, 286 of the veterans that are homeless in Oklahoma are chronically homeless.
Right.
And that's what I was saying about that means that they've either been homeless this year or homeless 3 times in the last 4 years.
Right.
And it also means that they sleep without shelter.
No shelter at all.
Without any type of roof. So they sleep out in the elements.
Under the stars.
7% of those are females, and 40% are from the age 42 to 64. One is too many, by the way.
Oh, I agree.
It rises about 20% every year. The largest rise took place between 2015 and 2016.
Okay.
2015, 2016.
There are a couple of venues that are specifically for veterans. Temporary venues. Oklahoma Veterans Affairs has a HCHV, Serenity Recovery, and it only houses approximately 73% in use. So there's a place that veterans could go.
Right.
That tonight you get cold, you could go here.
Right.
The way you would find out about there's one more place.
Can it hold capacity for everybody? Like, what's the maximum capacity? No.
So it will max out. If all these people that we were talking about that are living without shelter over their head, if they all came to these locations, it would not be able to facilitate all of them, right?
Okay, there's another one. It's a Friendship House, and it stays at 90%. But there are private places that you could go.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
That are just for the general public. But they're also for veterans, but these are specifically for veterans.
Now, what was the first one that you just said? What was that?
It's called the Outreach Community, and it only stays at about 73% capacity.
And the Friendship House was the other one?
And the Friendship House is the other, and it stays at about 90% capacity.
What how many of these we have nationwide?
I don't know.
I don't know. I can find that out for us next week, though.
Okay, let's do that. And what was the very first one? What was the name of it again? So that people.
It is the Outreach Community.
Outreach
Serenity Recovery.
Serenity Recovery.
Right.
Just letting everybody know that that's at 70. That's usually stays at 70%. 73%.
Sure seems like a waste that there are people sleeping out in the open, and we have beds and 2 different things that are specifically made for veterans.
Right.
Also, there are programs that would house veterans permanently, help families specifically get housing, permanent housing. These are, one is SSVF, and that is
SSVF.
SSVF.
Okay.
What?
You just got papers all over the place.
We're gonna get to a highlighter.
Yeah.
Remember when I said you have a highlighter and you said no?
No,
Okay,
I know. I'm sorry, but
Yeah, you're all right.
Dropping the ball again? Well,
God,
I know.
if it weren't for you, we'd be able to get this stuff across to
that's what you
everybody.
get. You didn't ask the Army guy. You
I'm
asked the Marine.
sorry. Well, me, I usually fold the page that I need.
Ridiculous.
You're fine. We got plenty of time, brother.
Yeah, man.
Okay. For the SSVF program, the requirements for it, first off, the easiest way to get a hold of them is you would call 211. Tell them that you're a veteran. Whether you have a family or not doesn't make a difference. Even if you don't have a family, if you meet the requirements, they will still help you get a house. They'll pay for your rent, all your deposits, electric, gas, water, whatever deposits you have, and they will help you out a certain amount for the first year, and that amount is about 3 months.
So for 3 months to get them started up on their feet and stuff like that.
Right.
Now, is that a government program? Or
That is government. That is a program shared between the Veterans Administration and the Goodwill.
And the Goodwill.
They both
came together to help out.
Exactly.
Huh.
So now that's the SSVF, right?
SSVF. It's
Okay. And we'll attach all the links up so that people can go look at it too, and make sure at the actually below this video we'll put all the links up, and remind me if I don't do that to make sure I add that to the video listing on there, so that people can actually go there and actually see basically the documentation that you have right there in front of you, right, Dave?
Mm-hmm.
And
But what I want to emphasize is the fact that they do not have to have a family. They will help you if you're a single veteran,
right,
male or female, or a veteran that has a family.
okay,
There are a few requirements. Some of the requirements are that you have to have a permanent job. And you say, well, if I have a job, I have a place to live. Well, that's not the case. A lot of people that have a job cannot afford to take that money and get a place to live.
Sure.
What this will do is it shows that you're working, and they will help you. They will pay your rent, pay your deposits. You have to meet a few requirements, bank statements, things like that, tax returns, things like that. If you'll call 211, ask for the SVF program, they can put you in contact with them.
I wonder if we have any programs in this state like some of those others I was talking about a few episodes ago, where I was talking about like the biker groups that were doing those houses.
Well, and those are basically okay. So
those are like communities, so they basically get them off the street,
right,
get them jobs, and
that's
basically
the community coming together and actually stepping up and doing something.
Well, that's just a small group of people.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Well, even when you include most of the nonprofit organizations and things of that nature that do these things,
501c.
It's still it's a huge thing that they're doing, but it's still a drop in the bucket.
Well,
it would have to
100%. But I mean,
at least they're making a dent, somewhat of a dent.
At least they're doing like six at a time, because once they're finally, they cycle them through, so they get them jobs, they get them going, then they can get their own place.
Well, what I'm trying to do here, though, is give them a direction to go.
Right. I was just wondering if
there are places like that here.
Right.
A homeless family would not be able to go out and locate those.
Right.
But a homeless family can call. Homeless family can call 211, get a hold of the SVF program, and get the ball started. Get the ball rolling. Also, if you call, they can also direct you to family places where you can take your family, get them out of the cold, get them fed,
right,
until the SSVF program can take control, can take hold.
Gotcha. Now so for all the civilians out here that are watching this video, civilian side of the house, I still call us veterans. We still act like we're active, but I still see them as civilian side of the house, because that's how we refer to a lot of the people out there. So let's say that I'm a civilian walking down the road, and I notice a veteran on the side of the road, and I'm talking to them, right? And I find out that they are. Now, I can make the call for them, or make the call and hand that to them so that they can talk to them, or
you can give them the number. You can also furnish them with a phone, but you cannot make the call yourself. It has to be from each individual, veteran or family.
And I wanted to make sure that I know you were very knowledgeable in that, because I think you played a part.
Well, actually, I helped invent the program. So.
And that's another reason why I wanted you to bring this up, Dave. That's something that's very close and dear to your heart, and I appreciate you bringing up all this stuff, because the more you know, the better off that we're able to handle. It gives us ammunition to take care of the situation.
Does that cover like greater OKC area too? Like,
actually, that's
if they're in Norman, or if they're in Noble, or if they're in Purcell, or wherever. Yeah.
Any place in the state of Oklahoma. Actually, any place in the state of Oklahoma, you can get a hold of 211.
Right.
Any place.
Gotcha.
And once you get a hold of 211, they can direct you as to where to go.
Okay.
But the thing is, you sit there and you feel sorry for yourself, you feel sorry for your family. That's your fault. There are people out there that can help you. There are things that can be done. but you have to make the first move. Make the call. People will help you. Don't sit around and feel sorry for yourself. Veterans have a tendency to do that, and I feel bad for them. But the thing is, you got to get off your ass. You got to do it yourself.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, and you are the one that did sign a contract. You actually made the actual step to get up to do something, right? So when we start thinking about that whole process of how you joined the military, right? You actually had to get up, sign the documentation, say the oath, and go off to boot camp, and people helped you become the person that you are today.
Sure.
And so when you're stuck in the position, it's like you're right back at square one again, and you have to make that attempt yourself to go through, sign the documentation, say that oath again, and go through that process. And that's the way to look at it, right?
I feel a lot of it is probably them feeling slightly ashamed to do it, though.
Right, but I'm trying to say that it should not. It should not be that way.
Well, let me say this.
Go ahead.
The SSVF program helped me. I was homeless. I went to them. I didn't feel good about it.
Right.
I swallowed my pride and went to them. They don't make you feel bad. As a matter of fact, they make you feel wanted. They let you know that they want to help.
Mm-hmm.
So they helped me. They helped me get a place. I had some trouble even after I got my place. There were a few times that I would have lost my place, but they will continue to help you. All you have to do is let them know. You have to let them know. They're not going to come and find you and help you. You have to go to them. That's all you have to do.
Well, David, if you would have never done that, I would have never met you.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, so I think that's a big thing. And you guys need to understand this too. Me and Dave would have never met. He would have never came to me and what we do at Recoil, and I would have never met the guy. So
we want to extend the help on out. We want to pay it forward.
Right.
Well, there's been a lot of veterans that have come through Recoil. Oh, gosh, I can't even remember how many I've seen.
Yeah, and we can talk about that real quick. Yeah, you guys check us out at Recoil Rifle Slings. It's recoilrifleslings.com, and we try to give veterans a place to work, a place to feel comfortable in working, right? And we deal with a lot of issues.
One other thing.
What?
If you don't feel like calling 211, because that is a little bit of a bureaucracy.
Yeah.
Recoil Rifle Slings. My name is David Colon.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be happy to help you get in touch with the right people. And if anybody can help you get in touch with the right people, it's me. If you don't feel like going through 211, you want to be more private about it, go to Recoil Rifle Slings, find out our phone number, our email address, get a hold of me. I will personally make sure that you're in touch with the right people.
And you can also comment if you're able to comment on this video, or if you're a civilian that's talking to a veteran that sees this video, you show them the video and they're wanting to ask that question. You guys post comments below our video. That's what they're there for.
Yeah, and post links to other states' services. That way everybody knows what theirs are in their states.
We're in this together, guys.
And there are also, through the Goodwill, sponsored by the VA, there is a mentor program where they can also help you get other help. And I actually did all the mentor program, did all the guidelines and everything.
Did you really? So I mean, you actually,
program.
It's interesting to me because I knew you were homeless at one point in time. I wasn't going to share that with everybody because that's your place to say that. I know you're not, but that's your place to say it, and I'm proud that you actually, just like with Damien, Damien stepped up and he said his things because it's in the past I've actually tried to share
to va.gov. They also have programs on there for homeless veterans assistance.
Actually, probably one of the SSVF is probably one of the programs that's mentioned on there.
Yeah,
it is. It is. It definitely is.
And also, the other program that I can't find in my notes, it's probably over there too. So, seriously, and if there's something that goes through, if you're on veteranlogic.org also,
you can get a hold of Dave. Dave's here with me at the shop, and if I'm at the house and Dave's up here at the shop and I get something in, I can let Dave know. So there's different ways. So if you want more information about this stuff, please ask the questions. Or if you want to comment about what we're doing in this video, we'd love to hear from you people. So seriously, please comment. Real quick, I've got something to show people. I had speaking of recoil rifle slings on that whole thing, we had a active Army guy that came in today, ordered a sling from us, and he went back home. He heard the story of recoil, and then he found out you were going to be building his sling, right? Mm-hmm. So this guy made, with his hands, he made a glass tray, a whiskey glass tray, that is made out of, it looks like 9mm rounds. It's 9mm and 45s. And he's encased it. So, actually, you know what?
He made mine out of 45s.
Yeah. I mean this thing is awesome, dude.
He used full metal jackets and brass.
Yeah, and then he gave us he basically...
Does that mean we can get him to make a small table out of 50s?
Yeah, dude, that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that have to be a big table?
Artillery shells.
Oh, yeah, now we're talking, man.
Some mortar shells.
And he's in artillery, so maybe he could.
And he got us a Johnny Walker glass with... It's got a 9mm encased on the bottom of it right here. So, I mean, it's beautiful. I love it. Actually, absolutely love it.
That's
cool.
I'm
a whiskey guy myself.
I don't think Chuck blew the glass, though.
No, I don't think he blew the glass. But yeah, he didn't blow the glass. But, yeah, so, I mean, it's a nice...
Because he's Army.
Yeah. Oh, I see where you went with that. Yeah. But anyway, so, I mean, it's just I wanted to share that with everybody because that's, you know, from time to time we get, even from regular companies, we get stuff in that we've done for them and gifts and stuff to get to the veterans, and
it shows how much appreciation they have.
And so I definitely wanted to share that with you guys and let you know. Derek, what switch the side of the spectrum over here on this side. What have you got for us today, man?
Today?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was actually just looking through some recent news to see if there's anything new that's popped up today.
I have some things that were on the news.
Why don't we talk about the Starbucks thing?
Yeah, we want to get more fact on the Starbucks thing, but I something that just really... Okay, we'll go back from where Dave left off with the homeless veterans, okay? And let's start working this way. So it actually all goes together because I think this is the most important thing. And yeah, I've seen the facts before anybody starts hounding us about facts that Starbucks from 2013 to now has hired 8,801 people. Whoop-de-freaking-do.
Yeah, but that's like cereal box statistics.
That's exactly right. You know, so you don't know what the stats truly are.
Well, that also includes the people that got fired, that got replaced.
Yeah.
Right. But when you actually come out as a corporation and say that you're willing to hire refugees over its own people, and leave out veterans too in that whole thing because of the stats that we just came up with, which are dependable people, I might add, on top of it. It just kind of rubs me wrong, man. I mean,
more importantly, the government, our government, the people that we pay taxes to and support, are the ones that are giving Starbucks the $20 million to hire the refugees.
And I think...
Why wouldn't they have given them $20 million to hire veterans? There are veterans homeless everywhere.
See, and you guys can hear the frustration in Dave's voice. Now, I don't know how much... We want to get some facts on this. So, Derek, me and you will be working on that because I want to visit this more and more.
Yeah, I looked at it a little
bit.
Be I haven't researched into it yet.
Okay. It should be addressed.
I feel like that's going to be like a 2-day in-depth Derek thing like I did last.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anybody can do it,
if I had a computer, I would help you research it.
Totally. And you know what? You got your hard drive, right? Yeah. Give me your hard drive. I have a couple extra desktops at my house. I'll throw it in one, see if I can't get it working.
Cool.
And we'll see if we can get it running.
Thank you.
There you go.
See how veterans are? We should help each other.
Take care of each
It'll
other.
be good for fiddling around on, but you won't be able to run your software programs on it.
Yeah.
Those crazy ones that
But
you got.
I've
Because
got
it's it only has 2 gigs.
Well, I've got a
of
motherboard. I've got a motherboard and stuff at the house with an AMD processor. So
Do you?
we're getting set
Okay.
up.
Well, if that's the case, I think I have.
We need a graphics card for him. So
Yeah. You got a graphics
I know that
card.
9600. That's an old card.
Yeah, it is.
So if anybody's watching, Dave needs a graphics card.
I got two.
I don't need one. My computer needs one.
I got two, but
His computer needs one.
I got them running in Crossfire, so I need both of them.
Because Dave wants to get back up and running, so he can at least
Get 'em.
Yeah,
So he can check on what the world's doing instead of having to watch CNN on TV.
Yeah, no, I don't. I've never CNN. Is that a news station? I've never watched it before because it's full of shit. Oh,
I could say what I think the acronym
No,
means, but I'm
no.
not going to.
mm-mm. But see, if I had my computer up, then I would know what that other program is. So see, if
Right.
you help me, you'd be helping yourself.
Exactly. No, but I seriously on the whole Starbucks thing, man. I think it
should be criminal.
Well, it's just a shame. I think a lot of topics that we talk about, and a lot of things that we've been seeing right now is just totally disrespectful. It's not. It's un-American.
I mean, how could
You know what I mean? I mean, seriously, when you start talking, we take care of our own people, right? Or at least we're supposed to.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
And I think that, I mean, you saw that when Oklahoma City bombing happened,
Mm-hmm.
and how the people came together and we tried to help each other out. We helped families out. We did all this stuff. And
Speaking of the bombing, I just want to pause before I forget
Go ahead.
this. I was reading in the Gazette today.
Mhm.
I was at a Hideaway
yeah,
Pizza, and
that's expensive.
all right, so you got pizza. We didn't. so
Yeah.
anyways,
We can't afford. So if anybody out there wants to send us pizza, we'll take.
Yeah,
pizza.
we'll take pizza too.
anyways, sorry for eating. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I guess at the Oklahoma Museum of Art, someone made a documentary over Timothy McVeigh and Oklahoma City bombing stuff.
Oh, really?
That's going to be airing. I don't know when, but you can look it up online. So if you guys want to check out the mind of Timothy McVeigh and what all happened
I don't know
there.
if I want to reach into that mine. But
Well, it starts out as how he started out as a peaceful protester, and I think, from what I understood reading, how it got to where it went.
yeah, so that's just a word wise to the people out there that that are.
That's what happens when you become an extremist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This extremist crap is for the birds, man.
A
And
sidebar to the $20 million. Not only is it not helping the veterans, but it's not helping the private sector. There are plenty of unemployed Americans that deserve to have those jobs.
oh yeah,
You know what I think would also help with transitioning is if so right now with the military schooling you get for your job related field, because it's called something different. Why is it just worth a few college credits? Can't we do something to where these federal schools that everybody's going to in the military, couldn't we do something where it leads to certifications
But see, then
for,
you get
for jobs when you get out?
but-
You know what I mean? Like,
But that's just like when we talked about a couple episodes ago when we were talking about me with my Social Security and my VA. Okay, well, one hand won't wash the other one. One hand doesn't recognize what the other hand's doing. I totally agree with you 100%.
sure. But what I'm saying though is like
they already have schooling in the military, right? So like,
well, what I'm saying is like, why can't these certifications not just be for the military, but for when you get out too? Like, okay,
yeah, no, totally.
This guy, like Steve.
Yes.
Steve was a air rescue swimmer, so special operations. But in the Navy, even if you're doing that, you have to have a standard job if you're on a boat, right?
Right.
So he was an aircrew mechanic.
Right.
Right? So he worked on fucking... He worked on jets for 6 years. 6 years. And guess what? He can't do it here because he doesn't have any fucking certifications. How does that work?
I agree.
You know what I mean?
he actually had, okay, so crew chief, okay, and I know a little bit about that. Crew chief, they have to go to certain classes, right? So there's certain certifications and also in working on stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to know those certain aircraft types and stuff like that. So that should count as a point in your schooling. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like that should actually go towards credit in that schooling, whatever you're going for, as long as it equalizes to that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, instead of that, why don't they just make it to where if you're doing that job, like obviously based on your rank and what you're doing, you get those certifications as you go through it, like federally.
But well, yeah,
you know what I mean?
So,
like,
yeah,
like
that's,
so
that's
you
what I'm
go to
saying.
school for aircraft mechanic, right?
Exactly
in the military.
right. It should transfer over.
Right. How come you don't get the same certifications that people in the civilian world are getting for aircraft mechanics? You know?
Even above and beyond that, the companies like Boeing, I mean, the companies are numerous. Would you rather have an untrained, undependable civilian that doesn't know anything about the job, or would you rather have a veteran that has done that type of work, maybe not the exact planes, but understands the principle?
And I'm pretty sure Boeing's got a lot of veterans, because I was an airframer.
And I'm not saying they don't, but I'm just saying.
But see, that was kind of the whole thing about airframing that kind of drew my attention, because there's so much civilian side of the house in the airframing field, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you look at that, of course, you had to get another certification to work out in civilian population. I understand that certification.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think it should be a little bit easier for the military people, but when you're also talking about birds that go up in the air, now me and you can relate because you were in the Air Force and you know exactly what I'm fixing to say. You have people that are on that aircraft, and it is the restrictions to make sure that you're doing everything right every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You read the manuals. You make sure that what you're putting on, the right size bolt, that you're making sure that the rivets are just right. Mm-hmm. There is so much stuff that's entailed in those kind of jobs.
100%.
And but now when you're talking about, let's say, military police, now I don't know personally certain things that we're talking about on this, but I would sit here and I would think that if a military personnel that was military police, their transition should be right into it and not have to, there's a lot of civil law that they have to go through, right?
Sure.
But some of that stuff should transpire because they do take a little bit of civil law.
Well, just like DOD. DOD, basically, if you want to do it in the civilian world, all you have to do is take a test.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's it. All you have to do. Basically, all you have to do, if you want to go from military bomb squad to whatever city you're moving to or living in, all you have to do is go and take a test and apply.
Wow.
And then either you have the job or you don't.
But there again, you have to get off your ass and you have to do it.
Oh, definitely.
Well, 100%. You got to be motivated. Very rarely does shit just fall in your lap. You have to get up off your ass and go do it. If you talk to anybody that's successful, it's because they worked their ass off for years to get there. It's not just like, well, I kind of half-assed it all the way until I made $1 million. That's not how it works.
And it doesn't happen overnight either.
No.
It does not happen overnight. There are certain things...
sometimes it doesn't happen in 10 years. Sometimes it doesn't happen in 15. Yeah. Sometimes it takes 25 years.
But point being, no matter how long it takes, if you don't do something about it, it'll never happen. Repetition. If you do it enough times, eventually, guess what? You're going to become a fucking expert at it.
Well, I got to say, man, it's simple to actually do the job. What it is, and I know it's hard for a lot of guys out there, the hardest part is actually taking that step forward and doing it. You know what I mean?
Or understanding what step to take to do it.
Right.
I think they need And that goes back to like one of the first episodes when I was talking about transitioning, and like I feel like so where I was when I was getting out, and some of the people I knew that was getting out, really good NCOs.
Right.
Made sure that their soldiers were prepared as they were getting out. Made sure everything was good to go. Made sure they made sure that they were taken care of. And I've seen that through other NCOs and other units, but I know that that's not the case in a lot of units where they're just basically a number. I've seen that happen at Fort Sill. I've talked to guys from all over the United States.
Well, and let me be clear on that first episode. You remember when I asked you how was your transition out? Mm-hmm. And my question to you was related because my mind and thinking, because I know we were asking everybody.
Well, I had prepared myself.
But you just said it. You just said it right there. You had been preparing people to get into the Army, preparing them for war, preparing them for this and that. Well, my question to you is that what should have been was, you do all this other stuff for other people. What are you doing for yourself? And then when you get out, how was the transit? And I guess I should have responded to it like that. But that's what I was saying.
If you're an NCO, you should know CYA. Cover your ass, right?
Right.
How can you square away one of your soldiers
if you can't square away yourself?
Exactly.
Right.
So if you're helping people transition,
right,
you should be able to transition your damn self. You should know the steps to take. Right. You should be able to do it yourself. You're an adult. You lead other people. If you're leading people, you got to be able to understand how to take your own advice.
Right.
And that's what I did.
That's very good.
I had myself ready to go by the time I got out. I knew exactly what my 5-year plan was that I wanted to accomplish. Not necessarily after that I knew what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to go to school.
You had a direction.
I wanted to go home. I wanted to go see my family. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to relax. I wanted to study music. That's what I wanted to do. So guess what I did?
That's what you did.
That is what I did. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. When you were in the military, did anybody have to force you or send you in a direction to where you would accomplish those things?
100%.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
No, I mean, I'd say I joined when I was 17. It's still unclear to me to this day why I really joined. I have no idea. I just did it. Like, nobody asked me to do it. Nobody said I should do it. I just was like, what, I'm just going to do it. It's just a random decision I made. But, and then I stayed there for like 8 years. But
first
few years, the first couple of years I was a shitbag idiot.
Well,
first couple of years after you got out.
That too.
Boot camp. I mean, the question that you're asking, most definitely, if any military personnel does not, or anybody that's a veteran or any military personnel out there would answer that question, no, they're lying through their freaking teeth. Because boot camp is a perfect example of that. It breaks you down and builds you up, right? Mm-hmm. And there are times that you do not think...
Or it teaches you how to work the system.
Right. Yeah. Well, that too. But I think for me, in the Marine Corps, what really stands out is, the drill instructors that were there with me. I had all gunnies, and to have them... And I was the oldest one in the platoon, right? And so... they were always after me to, hey, Hawkins, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you better get up and do this, and just build me up to that point to push and drive. Of course, it was a little bit more aggressive than that, but,
of course.
I knew.
I'm sure the language was more.
Oh, yeah, the language is more colorful too. And
that's a nice way of putting it.
Yeah, and,
Exactly.
I love those guys. Those guys are amazing people, man.
You hated them then, but you love them now.
You know what? I really didn't even hate them then. It was more of I guess I looked at it differently. It was more of, these guys have been there. Mm-hmm. They know.
Right.
And what they're doing. When I saw Full Metal Jacket, I didn't look at it as, because anybody who went to the Marine Corps or any other military branch, they watch Full Metal Jacket. I mean, who hasn't?
Right. It's like, it's like in everybody's boot camp. It's like the Marines watch Full Metal Jacket. The Army guys watch Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
The Air Force watches, I don't know, something.
But
some movie about
Iron Eagle or some shit. I
was going to say office workers, but
I looked at
Top Gun. There we
Top
go.
Gun. There you
That's
go.
Navy.
That's
fucking Navy.
And I when I watched it, what was amazing to me is, I watched it with an open mind. There was funny moments in it, there were serious moments in it, and there was wow moments in it, But when I watched it, it put my mind in focus that, this guy actually really cares about these guys. And he's initiating them into the Marine Corps, and he's basically making sure that they have all the skills vital enough to them to try to stay alive.
all the tools they need.
Right, all the tools that they need. And if you leave one pitchfork out of that tool, if you leave one hammer, one anything, the guy to your left and right will die. And so
It's attention to detail. They
exactly
teach that every day.
No matter what the branch of the service is.
Yeah,
Right.
it's always attention to detail.
Well, and when I went in, I mean that's how I looked at it. I mean I saw it as this guy is trying to prepare me for the worst of the worst situations.
Right. Well, he's teaching you that one little mistake can cost not just your life, but other people. You're responsible.
The whole platoon.
For everybody's
It
life.
could cost the whole platoon.
Right.
And and that transition when I got into the airframing position, right? So I mean, because if you're working on a helicopter, well, that helicopter can hold up to 30 people, right? So if that plane goes down or that helicopter goes down, guess what?
That's 30
a lot.
people.
That's a lot of Marines. And guess where you're going? You're going to Leavenworth. So I think that they're trying to teach as much as they can for these guys, and I think that as veterans that are in the situation that we've been discussing about tonight, in positions about getting jobs and things of that nature, you have to get back to your fundamentals. You have to get back to that point at which, because that's truly what I believe that every military person should experience and undergo, remember what the experience was, but the true definition about when they were in boot camp, that's what it was. It was about the readiness. It was about the getting yourself prepared to take that extra step forward. And that's what I was trying to say. It's already ingrained and instilled in us, right?
Well, and you're also surrounded by a ton of people to help you.
Exactly.
You have knowledge anywhere you look. As long as you have a good support team, if you don't have shitty higher ups, then But 9 times out of 10, you have an NCO who is basically your mentor, who you can look up to, ask questions to. He has answers. If he doesn't have answers, he will get them for you because that's his job. Then when you get out into the civilian world, you have to do everything yourself. And if you get out as an E3 or, an E1 to an E5, a lot of times, even as a young NCO, might not know what to do.
But for one thing, I would
they
have.
don't. Young NCOs, I mean, it's
Especially corporals. I like to call them the shitheads of NCOs.
Well, I would like to say this.
They're the special NCOs.
But everybody had to be a corporal at one point in time. Also,
not everybody.
I mean, all sergeants. I mean, all sergeants.
Not if you're not. Because if you're not a combat enlist, you don't get to be a corporal in the Army. You get to be a specialist.
See, y'all are
special. You get to be special. Well, there's no
Special
need
ed.
for a corporal. You know what? Corporal was created for combat MOSs.
right.
Tell me why a human resources administrator needs to fucking have a corporal in the fucking office. I need you to go bound and overwatch that paperwork.
That's crazy. Dave,
Well,
you got anything?
I would ask every vet out there to decide, to look back on their life and decide when it was that they decided to either strive to be successful or to give up. And I think if you will go back and do that, you might be able to make yourself change directions. Just think about it.
That's a good word of wisdom right there.
Mm-hmm.
Just in a nutshell, that's
Yeah.
powerful.
Because every one of us decided at one time, well, I'm going to be successful. or I'm going to be a dredge on society. I mean, I guarantee you that it had to be,
You're choosing.
you had to choose sometime. I mean, right now, if you feel like you've not accomplished what you needed to accomplish, now's the time to do it.
Yeah.
Think back on when you decided not to do it or when you decided to do it.
Just get up off your ass and fucking do it
And,
already.
and if you're a civilian thinking about joining the military, you know, even after the experiences that I had,
I get those questions all the time. You know,
follow your heart.
yeah, my buddy,
Follow your heart.
my buddy Michael, my buddy Bryce, my buddy Doug, all joined the military. You know, Michael joined the Army. He came to me as I was getting out, asked me like, "Hey, what do you think?" And you know, at the end of the day, it's your decision. I just tell you the good points and the bad points, and I tell you to make the decision yourself. And I've done that to all three of them. They all joined. They all stayed in a minimum of 4 years.
Yeah.
You know,
But
some
it's an
longer.
experience. It is an experience that no one can take from you. Seriously.
Well, yeah, and it teaches you a lot.
It does. I think it does.
Though I was a Vietnam vet, you know, I was proud of the United States, and I still am. Look into your heart.
Yeah.
Look into your heart.
You're gonna sign that documentation, or if you ever thought about signing that documentation, I would take a step back.
Think about it.
And really think about it, because it's not just a piece of paper. They just
It's not.
Right.
It's not just a piece of paper. It is.
It's a way of life.
It is commitment.
Yeah.
It is a commitment.
It's a whole cultural change.
Yeah.
It's a different culture.
But it's a good culture, and everything about it, I love it. You know what? Honestly, if I could go back in, I would.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to start from boot camp and I was physically able to, I would go into boot camp and I would start the whole process all over again, because that's how much I enjoyed it.
But you know, I bet 50% of the vets feel that way.
Right. It's like a family. And like, when I say that, like a brotherhood, and I don't mean that in a sexist way, it works for women too. But a brotherhood is in everybody has everybody's back, looks out for one another, everybody cares about one another, and they all help each other.
You're pulling the rope in the same direction.
Right.
And me being a Marine, I don't treat Dave any differently as an Air Force guy, or I've never treated you any differently.
No, we just tease each other
Yeah,
constantly.
we tease each other. God, we
it's-
tease each other a lot,
Yeah.
man.
It's like
I
jokes.
can tease you, but I'll kick somebody else's ass.
We're teasing.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, he's like, if I was to say like, oh yeah, Marine, my ass rides the Navy equipment, right? Like it's okay for me to say, but if
I
some
just agree
random
with
guy
you.
says it,
Or like me saying,
well, I mean, it's a fact.
or me saying, no, Marine stands for my ass is not ready to be a Marine yet. You know, or my ass is not ready to be an Army yet.
Are not ready to be
An Army, yeah.
Come on, Marine, get it right.
Yeah, no.
They don't say anything.
Hey, what's that other name? Oh yeah, muscles are required,
Muscles are
intelligence not expected. I think that was just the point that
bless it,
happened
man.
right there.
Give me a ride. That's all they ask.
Give me a ride.
Well, look, I want to thank again Project Lips for having me back on again. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Jill, thank
do
you
you
so
wanna
much. What?
Tell them where to go watch the episodes that you're on.
Oh,
or
yeah.
whatever.
So episodes on Project Lips. You guys definitely go check out Project Lips. Amazing. Jill is really cool. We're going to have her on the show sometime. So she is a really cool
Something to
lady.
look forward to.
Yeah, something to look forward to. And they had a country singer on there, so I will put everything on there because you got to check out this country singer. He's amazing. So I will put the full episode on. Yeah, we're starting to run out of time, huh? So we got about 5 minutes. 5 minutes to post.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got 5 minutes, so we're gonna start wrapping it up. But no, Jill Prevail, we love you, sweetheart. Really do. We appreciate everything that you're doing for veterans, and the co-host out there too. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much. Heart Songs for Veterans, which that's what Jill sponsors also with that. So anyway, what else were we going to talk about real quick? Dave, you got anything to add?
Well, I would say, remember that you can reach somebody from the SSVF program through 211.
Mm-hmm.
If you feel like it would overwhelm you, or if you've tried and it's overwhelmed you, you're welcome to get a hold of me. I'll steer you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because it's very important that you get off the street.
And if you're from another state, go to va.gov, and they have a bunch of them up there too.
Right.
Yep.
Derek, you got anything to add?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Well, look, I think
it would be pizza.
I want to thank. Hey, and guys, I got to say this real quick.
pizza.
Derek doesn't even know if I'm about to do this, but
that's why I keep bringing it up.
Thank your band for for doing the music at the end of the show because, dude, it is rocking.
They don't even know I did it yet.
They don't even know. No. Well, hey, I mean, if your band watches, you know, and guys, thank you for doing our music at the end.
Well, don't tell them that.
Don't tell them. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, they're gonna sit there and listen to the end, and they're gonna. Hey, wait a minute, dude. Sounds like our music. But Derek's part of that band, so Derek, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah, we really do.
I do.
We appreciate everything you.
Like I'm waiting for the very end part of it, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I want to hear that riff, man. That is so badass. So, by the way, I want to hear all your music, man.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna probably record this summer once we have some more funds. So
that'd be really cool.
Yeah, we'll actually have some real music.
All right, and okay, so we have got Bianchi Cup coming up soon. Cast and crew's going to be there. We will be shooting for Bianchi Cup at Bianchi Cup.
Yeah, well,
literally shooting.
What's month and what days is that?
May. And I believe the dates. I'll have the
Is
dates.
it the second week?
I believe it is second or third week.
Yeah, I think it's and it's 7 days long total.
7 days
between
long.
Driving and everything.
Correct. Yeah.
Also on the next show, I'm going to try to have
Missouri
National Statistics Plus ways that you can get help nationally.
Okay.
Cool.
I hope.
Yeah.
And you won't be having to flip through all the pages.
Well, I may be having to flip through pages, but hopefully I'll know what I'm doing by then.
Yeah.
But you know,
we'll highlight it for you. We'll get you some bigger spectacles.
Yeah.
I love those. Those are
I need some of the Elton John
Woody
glasses.
Allen
Well,
glasses.
me and Dirk will do some more research about this whole Starbucks thing because it is God, it's so hidden, man. I mean, it's like
there's not a lot of stuff.
There's not a lot of stuff on it.
Well, it's something that the government probably doesn't want most people.
Well,
to
it's
find
something
out
that they probably did back in 2015 to get ready for because we were talking about all these refugees coming in long.
Well, I feel like it's mostly a hype thing.
I do too.
I feel like because you got to remember they're a corporate business, and so they're like, oh, well, everybody's pissed off about this, so hey, let's just hashtag this, get it buzzworthy.
Right.
And get some views and get people to drink some Starbucks.
Well, as you can see, I'm not drinking Starbucks right now. So
I don't like Starbucks. I mean,
I don't either.
It's burnt coffee.
I'm done with it.
I can't afford it, so
I'm a coffee elitist. I have 7 different types of coffee makers.
I just got some good stuff. I will let you know about.
I have
it.
a French coffee maker.
Try it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Guys, again from Veteran Logic, we appreciate you for watching. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, please. Right down below here.
Right.
And also go to veteranlogic.org and all our videos are on there. Please register up. Ask us any questions that you have for us or comments. Or if you need to get a hold of this young gentleman over here right to the right of
Papa
me.
Smurf.
Papa Smurf, as we like to call him around here.
You can see his
which I cannot wait for Halloween. But anyway.
Halloween, I'm going to be taped to that wall and painted blue.
You know, I want to do an episode one time where we're talking about video games or something,
Me too.
something off the chart, man.
Well, I think there's also a lot of other stuff I want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We got so much
Some
in this.
movies,
So much in this. Oh, yeah, we talk about movies too, man.
There's some good ones that have come
So,
out.
guys, we're gonna
wouldn't
step
hurt for
out
us
of
to
the
do
box
that.
because I think
Be
right
fine.
now there's a lot of just garbage going on right now. That a lot of us, we've talked about this back and forth.
It's what happens, though. It's
It
like
is.
new president. It's shit-talking time.
Yep.
In
and let's
about
do
a
it.
year and a half, it's going to settle down just like it always does. It's not the end of the world, everybody.
Breathe.
I did want to say,
It's politics.
anybody that's
Yeah.
out there
Yeah.
that has been spraying stuff in
Other people's
Trump
face.
supporters' faces and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
I live in
that was-
Oklahoma
that was
City.
Crazy.
come to our website. You can find out where I'm at. I'll meet you anytime, and you can spray something in my
Be
face.
careful,
And
he's
we'll see what
RoboCop.
happens. Huh?
I said, be careful,
He's
RoboCop.
No, he saw it happen to a girl, man.
I got something for RoboCop's ass too.
No, I'm talking about you with your
Guys,
Oh,
again.
yeah.
Hey, guys, y'all take care.
Peace.
Have a good one. We'll see y'all next time.
Later.
Later on.
Yeah, no.